everyone. Welcome to Morning Matcha. Today I'm here with Celeste Thomas. She is a registered nurse and holistic skincare expert and the founder of The True Spoon. Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me, Nikki.
Thanks for coming and joining me today. It's so nice to meet you. Like recently, just a couple weeks ago we met and hit it off, and I felt like this just made so much sense to have you on and learn more about you.
Totally. And it's just, I love podcasting because you really do get to connect with people like you wouldn't normally, having a full hour or, more to actually sit and look into each other's eyes and speak and not be distracted by phones or other things. Like, it's such a beautiful thing. And I just really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, of course. So, okay, tell me more about, we were just talking about your background as a registered nurse, and I thought maybe you had been working in hospitals, but you were saying you worked at a plastic surgeon's office. For how long?
Over 6 years.
And what was that like?
Oh my gosh.
And what did you do? Because I know there's just so much with skincare, not just surgery, but there's a lot of the skincare focus.
Yeah, there's so many things to unpack and unfold when it comes to working for a plastic surgeon in Los Angeles. And, coming from someone who's super acne prone and learning a lot about skin, I did a lot of laser treatments in office and really help people with anti-aging, with their acne, with, different aesthetic things. But it was always kind of a challenge for me, no matter how much I could help people with lasers and injectables and things like that. There was always a huge component that was so important to me that was the internal and the holistic side that I couldn't always communicate to every patient.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you should also meditate and we should really look at your diet as well. But in that practice, I focused on different lasers for pigmentation and for acne scarring and helping people with fillers and injectables, Botox and things like that to really feel youthful and to correct some things. So that was my focus there.
I think it's really interesting because I'm always like, I want to have a plastic surgeon on or someone on because, I don't know, I'm just curious about the philosophy for a lot of people that are in the wellness world that are also just using I don't know if balanced is the term for it, but for them, a balanced approach to anti-aging. And I'm curious what your philosophy is around that, because I know that people are sensitive and
Yes. And for me personally, I take a more balanced, like you said, approach to my life in so many ways. And in aesthetics, it is taboo to talk about fillers and to talk about Botox, but we live in Los Angeles, which is a really polluted city. We travel, which the carbon emissions aren't great for the environment. Like, there are certain things in life that you kind of have to find a balance. And I respect anyone who doesn't want to do any aesthetic treatments to their face, but I also personally do them. And, things like dermal filler, it's hyaluronic acid, which it's synthesized in a lab when you inject it, but it's a naturally occurring substance in our skin that gives us that youthful plump. So I personally, when something has been FDA approved and tested for over 35 years and it's found safe, and Botox has been used medicinally to help people with cerebral palsy and different issues like that for so long, that if I want to, it was medically, there were so many medical indications before it was ever aesthetic.
Wow.
So people who had tremors and things like that to relax their muscle movement. So it's been FDA approved and tested, quote unquote safe, but pick your poison. Life is balanced. So I personally use these products and feel comfortable with them, which is somewhat controversial for some people, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, no one's here to judge. I think that it's nice that you are also in the holistic aspect and speaking to that. And it's not just like, I'm going to inject this and I'm just going to let it go. It's a more conscious approach, I guess, would be probably a good way of putting it. And then, like you said, addressing things internally. And so, do you want to mention your method to
totally.
skin?
So the True Spoon was created because I was a major acne sufferer. I've been acne prone since adolescence, and after going through nursing school and trying every Western approach for skincare, pharmaceuticals, going to the best dermatologists, taking every medication, it wasn't working for me. And I had to really teach myself about a holistic approach. So what my diet was, what were my home practices, what kind of products I was using. And so through that education of, 10 years of using my Western plus teaching myself a holistic method, I created a skincare philosophy that's really about healing yourself internally and externally to cure your acne, first and foremost for myself, but also have youthful, glowing skin.
And when did you start the True Spoon?
I started the True Spoon in 2014, but it was primarily just recipes and things while I was in my nursing career, and it's really evolved into holistic all things skin.
Wow. And you said you have ebooks?
Yeah.
What are they on?
So I have an Eat to Glow ebook, which is all about my dietary philosophy. It really starts with healing the gut, things to omit from your diet to have clear skin, and then things to include. So that's really the way that I found I could heal my skin with food. So I put everything into a very easy, tangible tip, takeaway ebook with recipes. So anyone who follows me and interested in skincare can make the recipes and follow a meal plan that's super easy.
Is it like what, dairy free or what? I want to hear. I mean, not that it needs to fit into a box, but what are kind of the pillars?
Yeah. So the American Dermatologic Association has found evidence-based indicators with dairy and acne-prone people who have a genetic predisposition to acne. So I'm not anti-dairy across the board. I think that a lot of people can consume high-quality dairy and be great, can thrive on it. Think like going to the Hamptons and having a beautiful, piece of goat cheese and enjoying your day, or being in Europe and having really high quality dairy. I'm all for that for those who can enjoy that. But for acne sufferers who are genetically acne prone, dairy is a no-go. So personally, I try to avoid dairy at all costs.
Yeah. No, I've found that if I'm eating dairy like all day, all the time, and the type of dairy is so important.
So important.
Like imported is good, or like raw, high quality raw.
Yes.
Yeah.
And ghee and
Cheese,
things like that.
Yeah.
So some people can do those. In my ebook, I don't have any dairy because I'm genetically acne prone, and a lot of individuals who are coming to me for guidance might be. So no dairy. Then another huge culprit that's in the American diet in such high quantities is refined sugar.
So sugar
It's very inflammatory for the skin.
okay, that makes sense. And so people that have acne prone skin just break out from sugar. I never even thought of that because I was thinking more like oils and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, you brought up another one with certain oils, but sugar is huge. And I think the problem with sugar is people don't realize the quantities in which they're consuming it.
Yeah.
Because it's in every condiment that's purchased, so many packaged foods. It's laden in every normal acai bowl, coffee, like everything that we're consuming all day has so much sugar.
I know. And so
It's a challenge.
how does that affect, it's just the inflammation?
So it's really crazy, like not to get too sciencey, but sugar is a crystalline molecule, and it actually scrapes inside of your vasculature, which causes a ton of inflammation, which eventually ends up in the skin. So you can tell when your skin is inflamed, it's red, it looks irritated. Acne is red, inflamed, irritated. So it's an inflammatory process that ends up in acne. Also, sugar feeds bacteria, and acne starts as a bacteria on the skin, and that's why you have the white blood cells coming to, create a pustule, a whitehead, because it's fighting bacteria. So if you're feeding bacteria with sugar and you're inflaming the skin, it's just like a recipe for breakouts.
Oh my gosh, tell me, I love hearing like this stuff so much. So wait, the bacteria is on the skin, and then the whitehead is because your body's like, I need to help fight this.
Yes.
I never even thought about it that way.
Yeah, so just like a healing wound, how you might have, white cells, same thing with your tissue. It's trying to fight the acne bacteria. So the whitehead in a zit isn't something that's the bad acne zit. It's your body going to immune defense to try to fight bacteria.
That's so insane.
Yeah.
And yeah, wow, that's really cool. So my background, I used to have really bad skin as well,
Which is crazy. I mean, your skin looks beautiful now.
No, and it's definitely genetic. Like my dad had bad skin, sister. I mean, all of us. My mom was like, "You need to go on Accutane," and I never really took my Accutane pills, and she was like, this is super expensive to be on and you should take it, but daily. And I was just always like, yeah, whatever. And so I take it here and there, but you'd get tested every single month because it's so bad for your liver. And it also just like sucks up all the fat in your brain because it's like taking away all the, so I'm pretty against Accutane because of, I think, the psychological effects that it has on people.
Gosh,
but
there's so many effects.
I know it's so intense, but I mean, some people, there's just, I think it's overprescribed.
And
like everything, I don't
1,000% agree with you.
Yeah.
I think our culture as a whole, we put big Band-Aids on problems and we don't necessarily fix the root cause. So say you have, a 17-year-old Nikki who has, acne prone skin or has a lot of breakouts. Instead of really helping you and educating you about what to eat, what to do, really delving into your whole lifestyle and pinpointing what things you could improve before you go on Accutane. Your dermatologist didn't do that.
No.
Was your dermatologist asking you what your home practices are? Like, describe a day for me. And they realize you maybe aren't washing your pillowcase every other day. Maybe you're like eating too much pizza, or maybe you're not washing your face thoroughly before they put you on a life-altering medication that can ruin your liver, affect your brain, affect your hormones, moods.
It's crazy. It's so backwards. They don't address that. And that's goes back to our whole system.
And then along the lines of that, going through this advanced dermatology course when I renewed my nursing license was so eye-opening because there's so many medications that they put you on for acne that are antibiotic medications that are supposed to have like a 3-month max of prescription. And most people that I know that have been on these drugs are on it for years.
Oh my gosh.
Because no one's communicating that to them and no one's getting to the root cause of the bacteria. You can take antibiotics, but at a certain point, it's going to ruin your microbiome. So your body won't be able to fully heal your skin. And then you're killing all the bacteria, but there's going to be naturally occurring bacteria when you stop these medications. So how are you supporting your body after that?
Yeah. I know my husband and I have a friend who he's had so many skin issues and not acne necessarily, but some sort of like inflammation.
There's so many issues that can happen.
His mom or someone gave him a sample pack of a steroid cream and it like totally healed it. So then he just uses it every day and he has to use more and more because his skin is getting used to it. And I'm like, you need to figure out how you're going to get off of this because you're addicted to it basically. Right. And I'm so curious. I'm sure a lot of people, and I think someone even was pitching an article to us recently about this, like how addicted people are to.
And they become resistant. People with eczema, with psoriasis, with, acne, all of these things. And really the Band-Aid only works for so long with everything in our culture. So it's really diving in and figuring out what the root is. And that's what I want to provide. I want to be that resource that I didn't have when I was a 15-year-old acne sufferer and I couldn't leave the house. And I was, so upset about my skin. I was crying all the time. And really, if I had some education and someone to help me, I could have had the skin I have now. So I want to be that for people because there are so many skin issues, whether you're suffering from rosacea or acne or just generalized aging that you're unhappy with. There are so many things you can do to feel better and feel empowered. And that's really what I'm trying to share.
And that goes. So one of my questions is, so once you start eating, what do you call it?
Eat to glow.
Eat to glow. And you really do heal your skin. Scarring is a big thing. So what are some things that you recommend for scarring?
Yeah. So once your acne is under control, it's time to start talking about chemical exfoliants. There are so many amazing natural chemical exfoliants. A great place to start is fruit enzymes. There are so many products that have enzymes that enzymatically break down the dead skin cells in your face and help with cell turnover so that you're naturally turning over your skin cells faster to get rid of hyperpigmentation and even textured pitting scars that can happen from acne. So
So
that's a
like
great one.
holes or not like
Pitting. Yeah. So a lot of people who have acne and who have cystic acne end up with holes in their skin. And a lot of times it's called ice pick, which is these teeny little holes that look like an actual ice pick has picked at the skin. It's very common. I think if any of your listeners, consciously think about it and take a look around over the next day or two, you'll see someone who has textural acne scarring. And it's debilitating for those individuals, like so challenging.
So what do you think about microcurrent facials?
I think microcurrent is really good. I think it helps stimulate cell turnover and cell growth. It's one of those things that if you can afford it and stay up on it, I wholeheartedly think it's great. A lot of people can't afford it or won't continue to stay up on it in the frequency you need to see a difference.
How much is it normally?
I feel like it's really expensive. I feel like a microcurrent facial would be upwards of $200.
Wow. And it's like, how long is the treatment?
I feel like you'd have to do it every month to see the kind of regenerative effects you would need. Versus I love giving my audience like topical things they can do at home and more DIY, because I feel like it's really important to stay on track and commit to doing something in a sequence versus just like a one-off that's too expensive. And how it goes.
Not accessible.
It's not accessible.
So what are some of the topical ones, like the exfoliants?
So enzymes are great. I really love to do chemical exfoliant masks at home. I was talking to you about this when we met for the first time.
Yeah.
But I have seen such a transition in my skin and my pigmentation from
The watercress one, right?
that one is amazing. There's a cherry enzyme one that I really love, but they're becoming so popular now that every non-toxic brand is coming out with one.
Okay. And we were actually just talking about this at work at the Fullest, because sheet masks are such a thing. And like, we can't really find a super clean one.
I have one for you.
Really?
That I'm obsessed with.
Wow.
It's the only one I use.
Oh my gosh.
It's a Korean brand called Hwamisa, and they make a completely all natural, all organic sheet mask.
And you were just in Korea, right? I know. I was like, that's so fun that you got to go and explore all the like spas and stuff like that.
Korea is magic, and the amount of time and energy and money they're investing into innovation. And Hwamisa, the company that I just told you about, I found them through Credo Beauty.
Oh, yeah.
Who I love, and I completely trust that brand for all non-toxics. But I was using that sheet mask for years, and when I went to Korea, I connected with the distributors, and I sampled a lot of products, and they invest like 40% of their revenue in R&D to develop the most active, non-toxic organic products.
That's amazing.
Which is amazing, and I think that's really important to talk about, because you can have avocado oil, coconut oil that's organic, great. But in order to see a change in your skin, say you're scarring or anti-aging, you need really potent active naturals. And because of, saffron latte, you understand the difference between something that's potent and active and something that's cheap and organic.
Yeah. Just to say like the name of it, or just to say that it has something in it, but it really doesn't.
Completely. Yeah. So finding those products, and Hwamisa, the sheet mask, is amazing. It's more for hydration, but for those products that are going to be chemical exfoliant for the scarring, you just want to make sure that you're getting it from a brand that's super trustworthy, but also can back it up with high quality actives.
Yeah, it's like results driven.
That is exactly it. Results driven.
Are you going to start your own skincare line?
I feel like I have to.
Yeah, totally. I just got that feeling. I was like, oh my God, she's totally going to start one. It makes sense.
I have to eventually. It's one of those things. And I test everything from every brand. Everything that's passed, I have a very rigorous testing process. I never want to be someone who is salesy and tries to sell anything through my platforms that I don't truly believe in and have tested. And for your audience, like making sure that you find brands and companies and people who you trust and who are actually going to be your advocate is so important. And I always want to be an advocate for my community. So once I research it all, then I test everything for 2 weeks before I would ever promote it. But after testing, doing all this R&D for everyone,
you're like I know what's good.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense, I think. But what's your number one? I mean, for me, it's a serum. But it's so different for everyone. Some people don't even like serums. And so I'm curious, what's your number one go-to skincare product?
So my number one go-to is cleanser. Starting with a true clean is so important. And I think that's one thing that is the easiest thing to do that a lot of people don't do to the detriment of their skin is fully cleanse with the right cleanser and cleanse properly. And I think I heard on one of the episodes that you're into oil cleansing.
I am.
Which I think is awesome. I've never gotten into it.
Really?
Because I'm so acne prone that I get nervous.
I know. It's like changed my skin though, because I feel like I'm not acne prone since doing it, which I was always acne prone. But for me, I think, and I love Nadine from Living Libations so much because she's taught
great things.
I've just learned so much about skin from her. And it really is the like microbiome, the skin biome. It's totally changed my face because something about the oil. I mean, oil is a detoxifier, so it just makes sense.
And you're not stripping.
Yeah, exactly.
You're cleansing, but you're not stripping. And no matter, like I use a really gentle gel cleanser that has no sulfates that gives it foam. So it doesn't foam. I have to manually foam it with my hands.
Yeah.
And I do a full 1 minute massage on my face morning and night.
That's so nice.
Which it just feels
need
good.
to do that,
It's so good. It stimulates blood flow, but you're not stripping, and it is the skin biome. So you need to be supporting that, hydrating, cleansing properly. Your skin is an organ. You have to treat it as such. You can't just use a harsh chemical cleanser and then expect your skin not to react, whether it's reacting an overproduction of oil and making you break out or redness.
That's what always happened to me because I just would do too much of everything.
Yeah.
I love doing too much of everything.
Same.
And so I'm like, okay, I need to take a step back because I'm like scrubbing. My mom is an esthetician.
Oh,
and so
amazing.
that's why she was like, my kids cannot have bad skin. Like, Mom, relax. It's actually because of my diet, really. And at the time I didn't know, right? But like, she didn't know.
Did she teach you how to do skincare when you were like a teen?
She would like try, you know, and I would, but then I think that skincare, it's changed so much because when I was younger, she had so many things because she tried everything and she had so many routines. And I looked at it as like something you did when you were older. I didn't look at it as a form of self-care that it feels so good. And we talk about this all the time at the Fullest because we love just like putting body oil all over ourselves and like massaging ourselves, or like breast massage oil. I love using breast massage oil as a way to like, I love using it, but also I check my breasts with that. But it's like a ritual versus, oh my gosh, I need to check and make sure that there's nothing funky going on or no lumps or whatever.
I love that.
But I just love doing it because it just feels good and it feels like I'm taking care of myself. So skincare is another thing like
So
that
essential.
versus I'd be like wearing makeup and then feel too, because it's like what is it? A domino effect, right? Like you said, the not cleansing your skin. You wear makeup and you're like 15 years old, 14 years old, and you don't take it off because you're staying up really, really late, and either you're at a high school party or you drank or you just stayed up way too late and you're too lazy to wash your face. And then, you know, all these things are, it's like, I know.
Chills.
And I think, I don't know if it's the age or if you don't understand. Like I knew that washing my face was really important, but I wasn't taking care of myself, and that I didn't put taking care of myself as number one thing. But I feel like I also would self-sabotage so much when I was young. I had this like pattern of self-sabotaging versus it's like people do that. They know what they should do, but they just don't do it. And you also want to stay in the cycle of like complaining about that thing because that's your thing you can complain about.
So true. And that's so interesting to hear you say that because I've always wished that why didn't my mom teach me how to do skincare? And like, that was never her interest or her focus. She was acne prone when she was young and she never really learned, and no one taught her and she didn't teach me. And if it wasn't at the Clinique counter, it didn't exist. And That is interesting from your perspective of someone who had that knowledge, but sometimes it does take age, maturity, and loving yourself and wanting to invest in yourself. That's
It's like it's a mental thing.
It is.
I don't know. And yeah, maturity for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one thing, like, I really want to inspire people to educate themselves, do the self-care, because really I'm trying to inspire skin confidence. And to me, that doesn't mean that your skin is perfectly clear. It just means that you feel empowered and you know what you should do and what will help you. So even if you decide, hey, I want to eat a cheeseburger and fall asleep with my makeup on and wake up with it, and I'm like, cool, I knew that was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a decision.
I did it on purpose,
Yeah.
okay? I wanted this to happen.
Right. But that feels better than not knowing and wondering and questioning, because what do they say statistically that our self-talk is like 80% negative? It's ridiculous. So if we can have that shining moment of knowing what we should do and be like, okay, cool. If I want to have beautiful skin next week, I'll do this. If I want to like go live my life and have fun, I'm going to do this. And that's okay. And then you feel empowered and more confident. So that's one thing I've learned too. It's like I've gone through the stringent thing, but
I love that. I think it's so
just live.
Yeah. I think it's really important to share that, because there are definitely times where you're like, yeah, I'm not, or I'm going to eat that even though I know that's going to make me break out. I'm just going to eat that because I want to.
And I have a question for you that's very interesting to me, because my husband and I are talking about starting a family, but how has your skin changed since having your son?
I had this weird dry patch around my nose my entire pregnancy. And so the oil cleansing thing was even more important, because it was hydrating and it would just like help the dry patch. But I had like weird dry patches. But like in general, my skin was just really good, I guess,
awesome.
because I don't know, like pregnancy, I think does that. I guess it's different for everyone, but for me, I didn't have any issues.
That's amazing to hear, because I've heard from...
I was oiled up.
Yeah, head to toe.
From head to toe. All of my robe is disgusting. I just had to throw it away. I had the best linen robe from Koyuchi that I loved and I lived in, and it was like brown from all the oils, like just that it was soaking in. And I just invested in a new robe after that whole thing from Parachute, which I love so much. And I'm always like, I need to, and I love light colors.
Same.
And so I have to like towel off before I get on it. But because, so pregnancy, I was always oiled up. And I figured that when I had my baby, I would just like massage him too with like all these amazing oils. But his skin didn't like that. So at one point, his skin broke out from a mommy massage thing that I was doing with him. And I had to just like kind of back off and not use anything, because he has really good skin. Like he's never had a rash or anything like that. But this one oil kind of set it off. And so I couldn't use oils on my body when I would nurse, because his like face was just on my breast. So I wasn't using breast massage oil and stuff like that. And so I have to, now that I have a baby, I have to kind of work with his skin if I'm going to do skin to skin and stuff like that. So I found that to be really interesting, because I miss getting oiled up 24/7. But yeah, it was like, it's something I never thought about.
Yes.
Yeah, because everyone's skin is different. So then you're like, oh, your skin might be more like your dad's, or your skin might be more just its own thing, and we have to learn what works for us. And I thought, but it's nice too, because then you are always exploring and
learning, and then you'll be able to help him through his life.
Yeah,
because you already kind of are getting to know his skin, and then you can help guide him.
Even with like sunscreen and stuff like that. Do you use sunscreen every day?
Yes.
Which one?
So right now I use the Josh Rosebrook.
Oh yeah,
SPF
I love
30.
that one. It's a really good one. But I just heard about Vivasana.
And I actually started using that one, especially on my like neck and décolleté. It's one thing that people really need to focus on. Yeah. I do my skincare head, neck, and décolleté all the same.
That's so
So
awesome.
I have like 6 steps and I do it to all of it.
That must feel really nice.
It feels so good. And when you look at a human, usually like right now with Nikki's wearing the most adorable jumpsuit ever. I'm obsessed with it. And it has kind of a square neck. And when you are speaking to people, normally you see face, neck, and décolleté. So if there's a huge differentiation in like color or texture of skin, it's noticeable.
Yeah.
So you can invest all the money in the best serums and creams and lotions for your face. But if you're not putting it on your neck and décolleté too, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Total disservice. I know. I need to go even cleansing down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you can. It depends. I mean, if you have like a toner, sometimes I'll skip the full cleanser and just do toner down there if you don't want to be washing like half your body in the sink.
My next question was, what do you wear when you do this?
Oh, I'm wearing all like robes. I live in robes. And
my mom used to have for her clients like a tube robe, or what is that called?
It's like a towel dress.
Yeah, towel dress. I need to get one of those.
Yeah.
I wonder if they make any organic ones. You should make it with your skincare line,
I'll
please.
make, like,
and then a good headband.
Headbands are so challenging for head shapes and stuff like that. No, but I'm on your team of like wearing dirty robes all the time.
Yeah, I know. I was sad when I had to, I had a matching one. So for my husband and I's 10-year anniversary, because like just dating anniversary, because we've been together since high school, I got us matching robes, and he hates matching with me. Hates it. And so, but he was like stoked on this one, but his is so pristine and perfect. And I was sad that I had to get rid of mine.
Oh my gosh, that is sad.
I did everything I could to save it, but it smelled like it was not okay. It was bad.
We're being really honest. I love it.
It's just,
It's so funny. On the matching tip, totally off topic, but it's fun. In Korea, it's a huge trend to wear the exact same outfit, boyfriend and girlfriend, or husband and wife, like red hat, teddy bear t-shirt, white shorts, same shoes,
oh my
same
gosh,
socks.
I need to move to Korea.
Cute. And we saw it everywhere in like same hair color on purpose.
Whoa.
Same like fanny pack.
Do you have photos? I'm gonna go.
We can Google it.
That's
it's like a
really
huge
fun.
trend. And I was like talking to my husband, like, "Hey, babe,
We
he's
need
like,
to do
I'd rather
that.
die."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but
Oh
I'll
my
do
gosh.
it.
You went because he was on a work trip?
Yeah, so he was on a work trip, and then I've always just been fascinated by K-beauty and K-skincare, just their techniques, and they have like a whole 10-step regimen, and I've read a lot about it. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity to get to hang out with him.
Yeah.
And then also just really dive deeper into Korea. And the skin on the citizens of Seoul is next level, and it really opened my eyes to the fact that no matter how old you are or what your income is, you can have beautiful skin if you put in that self-care time and commit to just doing it.
Do you think it's also all the kimchi?
I definitely think their microbiomes are a lot healthier, so yes. Because
it all goes back to like your gut, and then your routine. But
the gut is so huge, and I actually have been teaching fermentation workshops for years to help people heal their gut, because adding fermented foods into my diet really helps with my skin as well.
That's so fun that do you still do that?
I do. I actually have one coming up, a gut health one. I can't even say the location. It's a secret Malibu location, which everyone knows, but you're not supposed to say what it is. So I have one coming up.
Fun. I want to go to it.
Yeah, I'll invite you to come for sure.
Well, it's so fun to hang out and chat.
I know. We could just chat for
I know.
days.
I'm really excited about what True Spoon is, the future of True Spoon, and what you're going to expand to. I think it's so important for people to have someone to look up to that has a balanced approach that's more accessible for people as well, that you can do DIY stuff or you can splurge, whatever it is. And then I'm looking forward to your product line.
Hey, thank you. It's all happening. I'm manifesting it. And it was wonderful to actually spend a little more time with you. And I mean, you're already crushing it with all the things. So, I mean, I just see amazing things. You're already doing it. But
thanks for being so supportive with saffron latte.
Of course,
too.
I love it.
Thank
it's delicious.
you.